In this case study, we're going to look at audiences, audience targeting, and cost per channel when we're thinking about marketing to the right audience. So with this particular organization, they were providing ER or emergency urgent care services to patients in a large metropolitan area. And one of the things that the previous marketing agency had done before we had gone in was they were sponsoring the statewide sports team. And as you can guess, this was an extremely expensive advertising spend. So they were spending close to $100,000 a month to reach this particular audience. Now, they did have a couple of locations around a metropolitan area, but when we think about who are we reaching with a sports team sponsorship, we're reaching statewide. We're reaching citywide, obviously. We're reaching statewide, and then we also have a certain level of national reach. So this particular organization only had 3 locations around a major metropolitan area, but they were paying to reach a huge number of people. So right there we have a targeting issue. We're paying to reach a lot more people than could potentially be customers or patients for this particular organization. So you've probably heard me at other points in this training say that there's no such thing as bad marketing if our audience is there. If we're marketing on a channel where our audience is, that's where we want to be, or we can be effective there. But there's obviously a cost component to how we need to think about our channel strategy. And the cost component here was that they were paying way too much. So when we think about a cost per 1,000 impressions or a CPM standard, maybe I'm paying $10 on Facebook, I'm paying $60 on LinkedIn, I'm paying $30 for a TV campaign. So when we look at the CPM for this particular channel, they were only paying about an $8 CPM, which sounds great. That's a fairly cheap CPM. But most of the audience that we were reaching was wrong. And so for that reason, it was not a cost-effective spend. This particular organization, when we looked at their patient data, their patients or their customers were only coming from a 10-mile radius around a particular facility, which makes a ton of sense. When you're looking for emergency care services, where do you go? Are you going to drive 20 or 30 minutes away because you like a particular provider or saw advertisements about them? Probably not. You're going to go to the closest place that you can find that you remember or that you pull up on Google Maps really quickly. So because they had misunderstood the radius of the audience, they were targeting the wrong people. And then again, from this cost standpoint, any channel that we go on can potentially work if our audience is there. But if I'm going to pay a $60 CPM on LinkedIn, I'm going to pay a $100 CPM on Google Ads, or I'm going to pay a $10 CPM on Facebook, doesn't really matter what that CPM cost is. I need to know, am I reaching the right people and what percentage of those convert to a qualified inquiry? And if I can get a qualified inquiry at an appropriate price, and then my team obviously converts those qualified inquiries, then that's all that matters. I don't really care if I'm paying $60 CPMs or $10 CPMs, because if I reach 20,000 people and a 1% conversion rate versus reaching 100 people and a 10% conversion rate, that completely changes my cost dynamics. So I'm more concerned about my total cost per qualified inquiry, and that's the bottom line of what I'm going to look at in terms of a quality channel spend. So just looking through this particular case study, make sure we're targeting the right people, and that's not just demographics, but that's geography as well, and then making sure that we're understanding the costs and what the potential return for a qualified inquiry is on that channel.